What's going on, everybody? Welcome to What's the 411. I am super excited to have you guys here today. It is Monday, January 15th, and it is cold outside. So I hope you guys are keeping warm, okay? Today's show is brought to you, of course, by my good friend Christina Bovin. She's an author and she's also a real estate agent. So make sure you guys check her out on Instagram at List It with Chrissy. If you are listing your home, if you're looking to purchase a home, get in touch with her. Let her know that Miss Ellie sent you, and she's going to hook you all the way up. All right. So, of course, without further ado, I am excited with this special guest that we have today. So, go ahead, Felicia, introduce yourself. Let everybody know all of the great things that you are doing in the city.
All right. Well, it's great to be here. Thank you so much for having me, Miss Ellie. My name is Felicia Joly, and I'm a wife, I'm a mother, entrepreneur, educator, and I have a deep passion for deeply defining wealth within individuals and families and organizations. So, um, my husband and I were really vested in looking at financial literacy in a very different light. We look at how we can encourage financial literacy from the ground up, from getting families engaged in a systematic way of learning the vocabulary that the whole entire financial system uses, and getting comfortable and happy and excited to learn new terms, like learning about what does a mortgage mean to me and defining that, and finding the time in a busy day to really get a sense of how can we incorporate the language into our everyday lives. So we've developed a system, we've written a book, and we're just really looking at how we can share this with families and communities so that they can learn how to begin that conversation. And it's not just about adults learning the vocabulary and learning the meanings of things. It's how do we engage our children in these conversations so that they can become well equipped and well versed in the language of the financial landscape. So it's like learning any other language. You have to get familiar with the terms. So we've started from the foundational pieces. And so that's, what we're sharing with families, not only in the GTA, but also it is a book that's available globally on Amazon. So we're just looking forward to sharing a little bit more here on the show.
That's exciting. That's exciting. So, when did you guys put this book out?
So this book has been out since our son was born. So this is year number 12. So 12 years our book has been out, and we've been sharing it everywhere we go. I share it in terms of um, sometimes we have shows, sometimes we do talks to communities, to church communities, and also just having an opportunity here on broadcasts like this, just sharing and encouraging people to engage. And it's not just about the book, it's about the lifestyle of really how do we incorporate financial language and terms and meanings into our everyday life so they're no longer scary, and that we have a definition of what do these terms mean to me? How do they apply within my life, within my family framework, within my community? And once we have that application, then it's turning around and saying, okay, now I'm going to actively use this knowledge. And I'm going to actively engage in sharing this knowledge with other people within my community. So, yeah, in a 12 years of sharing and just looking forward to continuing to just have those conversations and continue to share.
And that's so important. First of all, congratulations. 12 years is a long time, you know what I mean? So that's fabulous. You guys are out here doing your thing. Um, but that's really important. You touched on like the knowledge and application because those are two things in our community. We know how hard it is for us. First of all, we don't, not all of us are well knowledgeable in financial literacy, in the terms, understanding what things mean. And then because we are not knowledgeable, we don't really know how to apply it to our daily lives. You know what I mean? So this information is really, really important. Um, but when did you guys decide that this was something that you needed to help others understand and educate our community about?
So when our son was born, my husband and I, we realized that there were tremendous gaps and differences in how people viewed wealth. So we recognized that it was critical to define wealth within our family holistically and in a meaningful, impactful way. So we also recognized that families as a whole had difficulty managing their wealth in all its forms because they didn't have a clear definition of what wealth was to them personally, individually, or collectively as a family. So the question became, how can any of us plan on building wealth together and passing it on from generation to generation unless we've worked it all out together clearly to define wealth, define what it is to us, define how we plan to build it together, define how we want to leverage it together, and how we want to protect it together. So when my son was born, we were literally sitting on the bed reading to him. He was just a few months old, and we were reading A is for Apple. And my husband stopped me right there. He said, "Stop right there. A is for assets." And the book was born. So, it's a 3-minute nursery rhyme read, like Cat in the Hat. So if you can learn Mary Had a Little Lamb, you can learn A is for assets, the things that we own, like our money, our toys, our cars, and our home. B is for budget, that gives us a peek at what we spend our money on from week to week. And it goes on all the way to Z. So the beauty of this book is that it's something that's easy, it's shareable. You read it for 3 minutes. Your children, whether they're 0 to 18, can immediately digest and feel comfortable with that language and the definitions. And then there are simple exercises for age-specific groups that will help, whether you're 0 to 7 or 8 to 13 or you're 18 plus, 18 plus plus, like we are, that will just help us into the groove of learning a new word every week. So not to get too far ahead, but I'll stop there and then I'll explain a little bit more about how the book and the system works.
That sounds phenomenal. That sounds phenomenal and very important. I like how it's catchy too, so it's easy phrases for, us to remember. Um, so financial literacy, what is your definition of that?
Well, financial literacy is a lot of things to a lot of people. It's like, oh, I've got all of these financial tools, I've got all of these financial services, I've got all these financial products and vehicles that I'm using. And you can have them and you can use them, but that's not a language that you've learned or a lifestyle that you've built if you just have pieces, right? So here's the rub. Financial literacy is a life skill, and it's a life skill that requires a lifetime commitment to defining our personal value and wealth. So there's a big difference. People think that wealth is just money. Our value is everything we are and everything we value, all the value we contain and all the things that we value, family, friends. And for us, in terms of our intrinsic value, that's our time, our energy, our ideas, right? And so wealth is not just money. It is what we create with all of this value that we have and that we are. And then it's everything that's important to us. So wealth is not limited to finance. It's much bigger than that. So when you look at financial literacy, it's really learning the language of the financial landscape. But if you're looking at financial literacy as a lifestyle, it becomes more than just something to do. It's something to be, right? To be financially literate, right? So it's a lifetime commitment to, again, defining our personal value and our wealth. And it's also about developing that ability to understand and communicate in the language that the financial world is using every day and keeping up with how that language is changing and how it applies to us. When we're learning a new language, there are nuances to every word. And there are nuances to the ways we communicate each and every one of those words. So having a relationship with individual words and then looking at how it applies to our lives and then making the commitment to applying that definition to our lives so that we can progress financially. That's really where it all is. And then, of course, it's about the consistency of us identifying and satisfying our financial needs and our goals successfully because we're constantly applying and we're committed to understanding and communicating in this new language.
Wow, okay. And so you touched earlier a bit about generational wealth as well. And that's important for us to understand. Now that you're speaking about financial literacy, it opens up our minds to think broader about what that actually, really means to us on a personal level. So, what does that mean to you and your husband? You guys are working, first of all, closely together to share this information with the community. How important is helping others to achieve generational wealth? Like, what does that mean to you?
Well, it's a journey for everyone, right? And I think that, especially in today's generation, we're in this really odd place where building wealth seems like an uphill battle because the traditional ways of building wealth are the opportunities to do that are shrinking, or even the margins through which we can create wealth are shrinking. So it used to be, I will invest in real estate and then 30 years from now, I'll have all of this margin. But now we have individuals not even able to get in the game, right? So it's, how do I build wealth now outside of the box? Because traditionally it was buy a home, pay my mortgage, and then I'll have equity and then I can pass that on. But there's a plethora of other tools and opportunities, and there's entrepreneurship, there's insurance vehicles, there's tax-free savings accounts, there's investment vehicles. How do you choose? There's just so many different things that we have to look at, understand, and choose from. And we have to also understand that there are multiple limitations now that other generations may not have had to face. So when I look at this, it's really giving people the opportunity to say, what is my wealth? Stepping back and starting foundationally. What is my wealth? And recognizing their relationship with money and choosing a healthy one. A lot of times people are, oh my God, I have to have money. That's the only way that I can prove that I'm successful. That's the only way that I can prove that I'm wealthy. And that's not true. We have to start looking at ourselves as the ultimate value and looking at each and every family member as that's my ultimate value. And our wisdom and our unique personalities and our unique perspectives, and looking at that as wealth as well. And so no matter where we are in our walk, whether we've missed the financial boat or not, we still have a tremendous amount of untapped wealth within that we can share. And finding those channels to share that value, that exchange of value, is where wealth is created. So if I do not have $1 million to pass on to my children and my grandchildren, I can find a way to channel my wisdom and my understanding and my learnings, even the failures that I've made, into a way that I can share that with the next generation. And that becomes my wealth. That becomes my legacy. And then, of course, there are other ways, if we're late in the game or even if we're starting early, to make sure that we're doing the research and forming the right relationships with people who have the knowledge so that we can start building early. And if we've made mistakes, go back to the drawing board and starting again. So it's not just about building wealth on a very linear path. It's about being able to be agile enough to adjust, being humble enough and vulnerable enough to get the right information and to keep building regardless. And then understanding that no matter what your bank account looks like, no matter what your portfolio looks like, because portfolios themselves go up and down. And we saw that in 2020 when things went down and then things started moving up and they're volatile again, right? So we have to look at it and say, where does my true wealth lie? It's in me. And that becomes your economic resilience. So you're not an economic resilience is about being able to look at any financial landscape, anywhere you are, and say, that's okay, I'm going to create value. Here are the ways I'm going to adjust my lifestyle. Here are the ways we're going to collectively adjust as a family. Here are the things that are absolutely mission critical for our success. Here's how we're going to support each other. So whether things are on the upswing or things are getting tight, we're going to have the opportunity to have that economic resilience because we've defined our wealth foundationally. This is who we are. We're of value. And no matter where we are, we're going to create value. And no matter who we are, we're going to pass on value that will become our legacy. And if in that process, we're able to create deluges of wealth and money, then so be it. It's great. But we have to still remember that at the end of the day, we're worthy, we're wealthy because we have that wisdom, and we are the only one of a kind throughout the entire universe, and there's no duplicates. So we are irreplaceable and there's no price tag. And when we remember that, that just gives us that level set of I can do anything anywhere I am and be my best self and create wealth holistically.
Jeez. Felicia's dropping gems over here, guys. You can't miss these gems. Listen, no, that's a whole mindset. Understanding the value within yourself is so important on a personal level, and then of course expanding to your friends, your family, and beyond. So, how did you and your husband come up with this mindset, or where did that develop from? Because that's not always something that we find in our community or even just in life in general. Some people are come equipped with that sort of mindset, but then others don't. So where did you guys develop that, or where did it come from?
I just think we always had a healthy devotion to community, and we just looked around and we saw where the gaps were. And we also saw in terms of like where we would have needed additional information or support and learn from that. And we're like, what can we do to really give the community a foundational stepping stone to get to that place of wealth? Because again, the biggest problem is if we peel back all the layers, our relationship with money is broken. We have a relationship with money where money defines our success, it defines our personality, it defines um, our self-esteem, our self-worth, and we judge other people based on their ability to create money. And money is created by us, right? So we have to go back to the foundational things and say, okay, wealth is not money. Money is a way we exchange value. It's a tool that we use to exchange value. That's all it is. And it can be created and more can be made, and you can lose it and gain it. Billionaires tell you all the time, oh my God, I was broke. We filed a chapter 13, we started with chapter 11, we started over again. They kept going, right? And so it's not about, everybody has the same concern with money. So whether you're a billionaire or whether you are, you know, financially challenged for a short period of time, it's all about I have to have a steady stream. I have to have a flow so I can keep exchanging value. And that's all it is. So we all have the same concern. So it's not about rich or poor. It's about, can I keep a flow of value and an exchange of value going? So we have to figure out, how are we going to look at our skill sets, look at our unique experiences, and continue that exchange of value. So whether it's networking and just meeting people, and then they can connect you to different flows, right? Throughout our entire life, we'll always get connected to a way to exchange value. And then when those values translate into monetary flows, we can look at how we can create multiple monetary flows so that if one tap turns off, the other one's still running, right? So there's an opportunity to look at that, but it starts with your unique value. So the way we looked at it was, here are the gaps. And then, oh my goodness, the relationship with money is broken. And then, oh my goodness, if we fix the relationship with money by recognizing our value, then we're always going to be able to create value. So it became a very simple equation. I value me. I know what I value. I will support the value in others in exchanging that value, whether it's time, attention, energy. So I just want to kind of share this. We pay attention. We spend our time, right? Right now, just having the attention, somebody pay attention on a social media channel, with the likes, with the participation, that translates into a flow of money, because there's value when a group of people pay attention and spend their time doing things. So when we stop thinking about money and we start thinking about what value am I going to exchange? How am I going to give value? And then how am I going to receive that value and then translate that value into another exchange? And eventually that will turn on several taps of monetary flow. And that's how businesses are built. That's how brands are built. That's how corporations are built, and that's how they expand. You create value, people pay attention, then they invest the money, and then the money flows through that exchange of paying attention, delivering value, paying attention, delivering value. So when we get back to those brass tacks, we're able to just not look at money as, oh my God, a stress factor. It becomes a exchange factor, a flow factor. And we can just be comfortable with knowing that there's something inside of me that's completely unique. And that will always translate into a flow of energy. And then that energy will translate into flows that ultimately result in a monetary flow. And then the monetary flow becomes, oh, that's nice. That happened. But that joy and that self-satisfaction and that self-esteem, that remains the forefront and the driving force. And then you begin to live instead of hunt for the next financial opportunity. You begin to live your life based on the value you create. And that is so much more soul satisfying than just cold hard cash.
Yeah, I love that because, we are all unique. We nobody's got our fingerprint. There's nobody like us. We've got definitely a stamp, to make in the world. And it's important for us to think about it that way because sometimes you got to step outside of the box and look at, things with a different perspective. So I definitely appreciate that. Love that. You guys are a power couple for sure. Husband and wife working together. We often see it, but not often enough. So just big up yourself on that one. You guys are doing the thing, you know. But talk to us about visibility because it's really important in our community for people to see, a family working together, has this book out for 12 years, doing the thing in the community. Talk to us about the importance of visibility.
Well, I mean, it's important for us to be able to share our value and not, as the biblical term would say, don't hide your light under a bushel, right? So it's really about us creating relationships and sharing as we go, and also not forcing it so it doesn't become unnatural. It's like there's a lot of times where it's like we have a product or we have a service and it becomes about the money. I've got to move this product, I've got to move this service. But for us, it's more of like a passion. It's like a, uh, you know, it's a deep rooted, um, consistent flow. It's a passion. When we see the openness for the dialogue and the sharing, we share that, and that's how we create that visibility. That's how we create that value exchange. So whether it's a one-on-one conversation or it's an opportunity to speak to a group, but it's just so rewarding when, a group that I spoke with 12 years ago. One of the participants, I spoke again to that group recently, and one of the participants was like, yeah, I bought that for my grandkids when they were young. And now they're all grown up and they're doing different investment, they're taking advantage of different investment opportunities. They're well versed and comfortable in the financial with the financial tools that they're using. And they attributed that mindset to just introducing these core concepts to them when they were young. So it's beautiful to see that evolution. And so, we're glad that we're sharing, and, we would love to continue to share. The goal is just get every child, just like, the Dr. Seuss books or the nursery rhymes, just get it into every child's hand across the world and let them understand and begin that relationship development with wealth and those concepts and feel comfortable with navigating that financial landscape, but not only that, but defining what their true wealth is beyond the confines and limitations of that tool we call money.
Yes. And so Power at Play, talk to us about the name, first of all. Where did you guys come up with that name?
So it was the idea of this is for the children, right? A lot of the adults missed the boat, so let's start with the kids, you know? So the idea was, what do we want to give these kids? Power. And how do we want them to enjoy it? So it becomes play. So power at play. So giving kids that power to play for their entire lives by understanding who they are, understanding their value within, life becomes joyful, and you can stay in that childlike essence of just expressing and exploring because you have that power inside of you. You know where it comes from. You've defined it. You're in touch with it. And now life just becomes just a playground where you can explore and learn and grow and share. And so power at play, that's the essence of what it means for me and my family.
Awesome. And so, talk to us about the different services that you provide. I know I was going through a couple of the different starter kits that you have and such. So, you don't just have this book. What else do you guys have going on for Power at Play?
Okay, so the good news is that we have the website poweratplay.org. So that's power, ATPLAY .org. So poweratplay.org. On that website, we have shared the book. We've shared the different ways people can engage with the book. So I'm going to kind of just step back and give a little bit of an overview with how the book works. So the book is what we call the starter kit, right? That's where you learn the concepts from A to Z. And so I'm just going to walk you through it. The ABCs of wealth, those we call it the FinLit or the financial literacy. So the FinLit starter kits. And it's just a fast-paced financial literacy program for families and communities. So in 3 minutes, you read the book, and then that book helps children and adults of all ages begin the right relationship with wealth and money. So from A to Z, we present innovative ideas and concepts about wealth that are designed to inspire families now and for a lifetime. As they learn to work together, they learn financial vocabulary, they deeply cultivate that whole idea of economic resilience and the strategies to build regardless of what their financial landscape looks like, and not only build for today, but build for tomorrow. And that's the generational wealth. So how the program works, you read 3 minutes a day from the ABCs of Wealth book. You learn the book, memorize the concepts in that book. There are 130 keywords woven throughout every line of the book. And here's the kicker. It's a 3-minute book. There's 130 plus keywords. But if you take one word and one concept, just one concept per day for 1 week, so one concept per week, it will take 2.5 years just to get through the 130 terms. So when you put it in perspective, there are thousands of financial tools, terms, ideas, and concepts. We've captured 130 of the essentials. And if you take one per week to go through with your family, okay, we're going to talk about mortgages. We're going to understand what mortgage means. We're going to research the different types of mortgages. We're going to talk about it at the table. We're going to talk about it in the car. We're going to speak to a mortgage specialist. We'll make an appointment. The whole family will show up and we will talk to them about what our opportunities are. You do that in 1 week. You've engaged the kids. You've gone through the process of connecting with a professional who has more knowledge than you. And then you've also defined it internally in terms of what mortgage is right for us. What steps do we need to take to get a mortgage? All of those different things you now digested within a week. And then you take that same approach to every single term. So every week you're digesting a new term. And you realize that if you just take a few minutes a day to do this, that you can get through a whole week and really embrace what that term means. And you can simplify it for your youngest child or for your oldest family member, and there's still benefit for everyone throughout that entire process of learning and growing. So that's how the book works. So you read for 3 minutes, you remember the 130 plus keywords, you review one keyword each week, and then you repeat that through that cycle for 2.5 years over and over again. And you do that with new terms that um, that you can get from a multitude of financial dictionaries and financial resources that are online. So we have free online resources. If you want to just go straight to the terms, you can get to that. We also have videos that have very unique descriptions of specific words and terms like generational wealth, a, a new definition of what money is, and how we can define economic resilience. So those videos walk you through those new ways to perceive wealth, generational wealth, economic resilience, money, assets, etc. So yeah, it's not just the book. We have all of the resources online, the free resources that people can tap into. And of course, we have a very detailed description as things you can do to engage with somebody from 0 to 7, 8 to 13, and then 18 and beyond. How can you engage people in this simple book and in that simple process of learning the vocabulary?
And that's so important. I love how you broke that down so that, all of these terms we can easily define. And then we actually have to engage with our family, talk about what the definitions are, and then seek other resources on how we could learn more about that particular term that we're learning for that particular week. Because we can just get the definition of it and carry on to the next word, but it's important to understand where the resources are in our community to learn more about that specific mortgages or assets or whatever letter we're on for that week. So that's really important. I love that. But talk to us about power at play. What sets your business aside from others? Because there are so many other people that are out here. They talk about financial literacy. They talk about generational wealth. What sets you guys aside from the others?
The short answer is we don't care about the money. We only care about, do you understand the concept? Can you shift into that space where you have the freedom now to explore your value, right? So it's wonderful. We have the book. You can invest in the book. But at the end of the day, where our heart is can you make the shift? Can you make the jump? And does that make you feel satisfied from the soul level, right? So we're all about inspiring the right relationship with money, the right relationship with value, enabling economic resilience. Another one of the free resources on the website is our blog. And it's just a very beautiful place where we've captured thoughts around the relationship with money, wealth creation, generational wealth, and filtered that through a spiritual perspective. So it's not just cold, hard cash. It's really thoughtful, immersive experience when reading those blogs. It really provokes a lot of thoughts that shift us out of our comfort zone and bring us into a new understanding of what wealth can be, and empowers the reader to really feel that I can do that. So we have an economic resilience blog that literally breaks it down. This is how you can start your journey with economic resilience. Here are the steps. Here are the literal exercises that you can go through with your family, and it's all free and it's all there. It's just taking the time to read through it and then taking the steps that are outlined in absolute clarity to move forward in that process. So again, we're all about inspiring folks from the soul level up and just helping them, develop those skills that and develop that value and recognize it. Because I don't think that we take enough time to recognize the value in each other. And that's what we do. We see you and we see your value and we want you to see it too. And just pivoting away from defining ourselves and limiting our definitions to financial gain only, we're able to now move into that space where, man, I am amazing. Now let me connect to my source and let me engage my community and let's create legacies for a lifetime and let's love every minute of it because it's all about loving each other at the core of it. It's based on love, right? Love your neighbor as yourself, recognizing that value and exchanging that value with each other while recognizing that there is always a higher power there that's going to be leading us and guiding us and has equipped us with all these unique gifts, right? So it's exciting for us. It's just our passion. And hopefully, some of that excitement can catch on.
Oh, for sure. And we see you and we see your value that you are adding to the community. So it's a beautiful thing to see. And I know when we met, you had just given me just a little bit of information about what you do, and just having you here on the show to really broaden my own personal mind and understand a little bit more. I did a little bit of research, of course, on your website too, but it's also good to hear exactly what you guys are about, from your own in your own words. So it's beautiful. I love it. So what can we expect to see from Power at Play this year? I know you guys have a lot going on, so talk to us about what we can see coming up 2024.
Well, 2024, I do have a new book coming out for adults. That's a book about the relationship that we have with money, right? So it's really just put my whole heart in really looking at and exploring the broken relationship with money and how can we restore and have the right relationship with money. So that's coming out in 2024. I'm really excited about it. It's like started that journey writing it. It started out as a blog and then it went to, you know, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, and then the page count kept growing. I'm like, I need to stop and actually publish this and then just do a part two. So it's editing stages now, and then we're going to be live on Amazon. I'm hoping that that would be mid-year, late spring, so or sooner. So it's just really me getting my heart to just say, okay, let's pause here and part two is coming.
All right, well, congratulations on that. We look forward to seeing that. Where can we get the ABC book?
So the ABCs of Wealth is available on Amazon. So it's Amazon anywhere in the world that Amazon delivers, the book can be delivered there. So and the way we've priced it, it's the same price everywhere. So so we've tried to keep that that framework in mind as we go global as well. So it can be delivered anywhere in the world that Amazon delivers. And yeah, so we're really excited. Go to amazon.com, amazon.uk, amazon.ca, and you just put in the ABCs of Wealth, or you put in my name, Felicia Joly, and it will come up. And of course, go to our website. It'll just be so much easier. We have the direct link to amazon.com, amazon.ca, and Amazon UK right there. And if you have a different Amazon, if you're in a different country and you're ordering from Amazon, just go directly to that website and put in our information from the website, copy and paste the title, and it'll come up on the Amazon distribution list. So poweratplay.org, and we have a tab called Shop, and you can share with anybody across the world.
Beautiful, beautiful. All right, guys, you heard it here. You got to get your copy of ABCs of Wealth. All right, you can get it on Amazon. or you could just visit the website. The website has so much information as well. Like there's so much, as she was mentioning, a lot of free content, a lot of free information that you guys can read up on to educate yourselves. So make sure that you do that. But if we needed to get in touch with you, if we needed your services, talk to everybody, let them know how they can get in touch with you.
So the best way to get in touch with me is through the website. And the email there is info@poweratplay.org. So again, that's info@poweratplay.org. And there's, uh, you know, 24/7, send us an email. We'll get back to you within 24 hours. But, we're here to serve the community. We're excited and about sharing. And we've also made, all of the materials available. So 24/7, you can go online, 2 o'clock in the morning, if that's the time you've got, go in, read, learn, and share the resources too. The blogs, everything is clickable, shareable. So just keep sharing and getting into that, making that first step to learning the vocabulary and having a relationship with the words, defining those words and defining your wealth within. That's all we're asking and all we're encouraging and looking forward to hearing those stories too.
Very, very important, very important. So of course, as you get the last word, I always love to hear if you have like a quote or if you have some kind of anything that you really kind of go by on a daily basis that you would like to share with the masses.
Well, I would have to say that, listen, love, learn, lead. This is life. So any situation that you're going into, listen. And listen with love, with patience, with kindness, with a gentle spirit. And then learn from what you hear. Exchange your wisdom, share your wisdom. And that's how we lead. And this becomes life, that joy of living, sharing, growing together. So keep it simple. Listen, love, learn, lead. This is life.
You have dropped so many gems today, so much key information that we need just, to boost our own personal lives. Just remembering, you touched so much on the value within. And that's so important for people to remember that, wealth is more than just monetary, that we have value that's associated with our unique selves. So we need to make sure that we're putting that out there. So you guys have to remember this. She dropped so many major gems. You definitely want to get in touch with her because, her and her husband, they both have um, such kind hearts that they want to assist you guys in the community and all of us, to make sure that we're able to understand our own wealth within, but how we can access the wealth that we have outside of ourselves as well. Super important. Thank you so much. Do you have anybody you want to shout out?
Well, of course, I want to shout you out, Miss Ellie. Thank you so much for the opportunity to be here and share with, your wonderful audience. And thank you for spending the time to everyone who joined in and who will be listening to the replays. Also, big shout out to the BBL TV team, also Trevor Dunlop. My financial guru, who I love so very much. So the whole BBL TV team, Trevor Dunlop, thank you so much for all of the wisdom and knowledge and encouragement that you've shared with me, and just love them because they are definitely making financial literacy easier and more accessible for families, and especially children every single day. And they're doing it with the passion and the heart for the community. And that just makes me really happy and grateful to be a part of their community and family as well.
Mm-hmm. Definitely got to send a big shout out to BBL TV. They are the reason for this connection here today. So make sure if you guys do not know who BBL TV is, I don't know how you cannot, but if you don't, make sure you guys head on to Instagram. You could find them at bbltv.ca. They're out there, they're doing their thing. They are always a part of whatever we have going on in the community. So make sure that you guys check in with them, see what they have going on, and keep up to date with Gary and Marcia because they also two power couple doing the thing. All right, guys. So make sure you keep it locked right there. Thank you so much, Felicia. I appreciate you. It was a pleasure, and we definitely will have to have you back on when you have this book out there so that we can talk to the people about the book.
100%. And I appreciate you. And that's a big term we use in our house because appreciation means to increase in value. So you are well
Ooh,
appreciated. You are increasing in value in our hearts every day. And so value is at the heart of everything we do and everything we are. So thank you. I appreciate you.
thank you. I appreciate that. All right, guys. Well, that is it for What's the 411 today. It's very powerful. Power. Do you hear that? Power at play. There's some power at play here today, guys. So make sure that you guys check them out, poweratplay.org. You guys have to get the ABCs of Wealth. That book is something that you cannot miss. It's education for you, it's education for the entire family. All right. So of course, I love you guys. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I will see you next